show. Statler and Waldorf sit up here. Show after show. Now I see why.
You see why they come?
Oh, I see why they left. Oh.
Thanks, memes. I was gonna take a sip of my hot drink, forgetting that I set my kettle to actually boiling. So, at least we. Who knows? Who knows? What mixing alcohol or cocktail alcohol would go well with spiced apple cider? Ooh. Hang on, this is probably worth... No, not chatting. React. Infused Satsuma oranges. Artisanal blend, rum and liquor. I'm gonna have to see if I can find this. This looks actually pretty good. Is that Barks? Oh, Bayou. Okay. Anyway. But that does look really good. Not gonna lie. Reasonably, how much longer staring at this can I stall? Yeah, probably not. Alright, well, gotta gird your loins, folks. Who's ready for more scaly high school drama? I know I wasn't. And yet here I am. Back to the pits of hell we march for absolute peak. Hear, hear. I will give you credit for this one. This is at least I've played about 15 minutes of it last week. Alright. Not too far. Just long enough to get like an idea. I will give you credit. The animations are really good. And that is definitely a benefit over Snoot Game. That the fact there's actual, motion in the story makes it a little bit better. I left off just shortly after, the second scene. I know you know what I'm talking about, memes, but I don't want to say anything until we get there. It really isn't all that far. Anyway, let's take a look at options then, I suppose. Window, developer. I have the story memorized, but I don't have the scene numbers memorized. Okay. I stopped after PE class, alright? After the first PE class. That's as far as I went. Enable Discord rich presence. I don't know what that means. Enable saucy images. This is your chance, memes, to speak up. Will this get my channel in trouble? It didn't last time, but I want to make sure. So that people can see you're playing Gator on activity. Okay, fair enough. And it will not even less than Snoot. Fine with me. Edge scrolling, mod screenshots, enable mods, developer tools. Music's not bad. Not too loud, not too quiet. Good level. Okay. Text speed, auto forward, music, sound, UI, voice. I'll adjust that as necessary when we get to that point. Alright. Well, like I said, not really sure I can stall any longer. I've got hot apple cider. I have sour gushers. I just gotta, don't I? Just gotta. September 4th. Year? 201M 2023 BC. Amid the arid heat of the morning sun of Volcaldera Bluffs, we just can't get out of there, can we? I can't help but miss living in the more temperate weather of the Midwest. Summer sleeves are in style this year. That jacket's aroma blog better be right. This suede thing is killing me. Well, at least it's guaranteed to start getting chillier in a few weeks. Besides, I'm sure to make an impression with this. Abercrombie and Flint is all the rage these days. I sigh and lean back in the hard plastic seating of the metro. I'm on my way to my first day in a new school. I do like the addition of the vines in the subway. It's charming. Ordinarily, I'd just be glued to my phone on the trip, but there's just too much on my mind right now. My folks' sitch requires us to move frequently, which gives me little time to fit in. Much like how a rolling stone gathers no moss, I could never make a friend I'd keep for longer than a year. Just a lot of promises to keep in touch that petered off within months. I wonder how much of that is going to be found out to have been a you problem as much as theirs. Admittedly, it's my fault in the end. Well, that was fast. But that's all going to change, starting today. I'm going into senior year now. It's my very last chance to prepare for the world ahead. Bullshit. Luckily for me, the cards are stacked in my favor. I feel around my backpack for my DSLR, till my fingers can absent-mindedly fiddle with the mode dial. St. Hammond's High School is extremely well known for their artists' curriculum. In other words, I'll be surrounded by people that share my interests. Speaking as someone who went to technically an arts school, there is few things more positively soul-crushing than that exact thing. Of course, it's probably the difference between, like, classical arts and culinary arts, but hey, who's to judge? It was my experience. It fucking sucked. Even if it's a bit of a ride away. Speaking of rides, I was hoping that my parents could drive me there today. By the time I was up, though, they'd already left for work. No big deal. I like the hustle and bustle of public transportation. Good for you. Someone must. I imagine I'm going to have to get used to this anyway. You're going to really become the I like trains kid, aren't you? As time passes, my mind wanders to memories of previous schools. They all sucked. Gee, we both have the same opinion, don't we? Hey, I need to make the most of the situation I'm in, not get all sad like this. I need to do something like... take a selfie with the hobo next to me. I won't get stabbed. Get up and breathe in that fresh city air. Breathe in it. I love the asterisks. Remain seated and do nothing, wuss. Couldn't hurt to stretch your legs, at least ways break your knees back in. I'm interrupted by the ding of the terminal board, and the car gradually starts coming to a stop. Boat goes binted, knock, knock, knock. Yeah, I'm aware of that one. I step off the metro, heading out of the situation as I follow a few other students heading towards the school. Oddly enough, I'm only seeing dinosaur students, not another human to be seen anywhere. It's almost like it's a theme. Must be one of those dino-heavy regions. There's a lot of greenery here as well. You'd almost forget how close we are to a major city. The pathway leads to a stone bridge that goes over a small creek. As I walk across, I notice other students meet in pairs and walk with each other. The air begins to fill with the sounds of laughter and stories of how their summer break went. There it is. The school peeks out over the trees ahead of me, as though inspecting and welcoming me inside. St. Hammond High, my new home away from home for the next year. I stop to take a deep breath. The air here is crisp, reminding me of an old campground that I went to back in elementary school. Once again, I'm handed an opportunity to make something of myself. I'm apprehensive, but hopeful. It's my last shot at this. There's no going back. At least it was for high school. Don't worry, this isn't a make or break moment for you necessarily, unless you let it be. I take my first step onwards. Here we go again. Indeed we do, sir. Indeed we do. And it was at that moment, when I played it through, I thought, wait a minute. Is the player's name, is the character name something like Incognito? Students mill about the front yard. Incognito, yes. Like, I figured, like, I did catch his name when I was playing it last, but it was like after an Anon, and it was in my head that was probably the joke they were going for, and I felt really good when I called it. The school is known for its heavily prioritized art programs. Over 2/3 of the graduates end up pursuing a career in the arts. Gee, their economy must be booming. And while half of them regret it from what I've read, there it is. There's still plenty that made it, right? I don't know, 2/3, 1/2 of 2/3 is about a 1/3 success rate out of this school. And it's like, that's not the worst thing, and it's better than Blood Bowl odds. Not saying much. Still hot. And also the management's claim to fame, with the facade and the front entrance being dominated by a vibrant mural. It is nice. I got a good feeling about this place. A few students eyeball me as I continue walking in. Some friends whisper to each other. I just knew this jacket would pay off. Oh yes, it's the jacket and not the novelty of seeing a human. The front doors are propped wide open, and I already feel the cool breeze inviting me in. Inside, it's a familiar yet brand new sight. I hadn't mentioned it yet, but this school is also unique for its student body. It's composed almost entirely of dinosaurs, all manner of saurian herbivores and otherwise. Yeah. Scales, feather, tails. Is that a tether? Wings, talons, and webbed hands. Not to mention the colors. All vibrant enough to challenge the bright murals in the school outside. I did also notice on this screen one particular reference that I absolutely enjoyed. You're a kid in the late 90s, early 2000s watching Cartoon Network and not see Dexter and Mandark. A good addition, and I must say I enjoyed that a lot when I saw it. Like, I will give you credit. I will give the game makers credit. This is already a little bit more engaging for me than Snoot was, so I will give you that. Dozens of students march about, reconnecting with past friends and meeting new ones. Some anxiously glance at their schedules, checking every door as they were numbered at random. If you scroll back, you can see Chad Thundercock. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I'll be perfectly honest, I'm not sure which one that is. He's the guy with the oof shirt on the left. Oh, okay. Not the modern day Chad, the OG. Okay. Whoop, little too far back. Alright. I probably shouldn't be standing here staring. Whoa, is that a human? Whoa. Huh? I'm soon surrounded and overrun by a crowd of neon-colored teenagers. Hang on, I'm gonna be doing the same thing I did last time and just grabbing stuff for thumbnails. Clearly, my jacket is working like a charm. Yeah, the jacket. As opposed to the guys saying, hey, is that a human? Wow, he's like a life-size mannequin. Happy new kid. Is this what it's like to be popular? I really wasn't expecting to happen this quickly. A few students are taking pictures with their phones. I even see some with sketchbook and pens in hand, rapidly scribbling on pages. Wow, a human! Are you like a foreign exchange student? In the chaos, I feel a few people touch my hands. Whoa, human skin feels weird. Jeez, a bit uncalled for. As flattering as attention is, ask them to back off a bit.
DD, get out of my laboratory!
Oh, it's not that bad. There's so much happening. And I don't want to be a party pooper. Of course you don't. A few more people shout at me to get my attention.
Like, hey, could you look over here for a side profile?
Oh man, yeah, this would be good reference material.
Wait, I need to get a better look at his skin texture.
Once again, I find myself frozen, only muttering quietly as I hastily try to follow their instructions. Eventually, all the Saurians take their photos and talk themselves out before dispersing back into their own friend groups. By the time I recover from the shock of the situation, the last one breaks off and I find myself seemingly all alone again. Oh. That was my chance to socialize. You kidding? I blew it. How are you supposed to socialize in that situation? That isn't a socializing opportunity. That is a performance check. You're human, right? A Triceratops girl leans forward, scanning me up and down. This is it. Time to seal the deal and get a new friend. Yeah. Close enough.
Hey, can I, get a selfie with you? It'd be great for one of my classes.
Yeah, definitely. She puts an arm around my back for a shoulder hug while she poses dramatically. Maybe a bit too friendly?
Big smile now.
She takes the picture and checks it enthusiastically. So, I'm Inko.
Huh? Oh, cool, yeah. Anyway, I gotta go.
Oh. What's the photo for, by the way? She pauses, aloofly chewing some gum.
My fashion design class, that jacket is ballin'. Ah. Thanks for the pic, hon. Yeah.
He missed his Wani to having a hug. Well. I feel my shoulders sag as I take in the now sparse hallway around me. That must have been my 15 minutes of fame. I don't think it even lasted 15 minutes. And there's no way I've already blown it. You never heard that one routine? A comedian I like watching, Tim Hawkins, has said that 15 minutes of fame isn't a guarantee, it's the average. All right? Like 0 minutes, 0 minutes, 0 minutes, 0 minutes, 0 minutes, 0 minutes, 20 years, 0 minutes, 0 minutes, 0 minutes, 0 minutes. It averages out to 15 minutes of fame. There's no way I've already blown it. I try to shake away the negative thoughts. Focus on the positive. For a brief moment, I was a talk at the school. Yeah. Click, click, click. The familiar sound draws my attention. I know what that is. At the end of the hall, there's someone kneeling. And with one of the latest camera models, if I'm not mistaken. Hey! The guy flinches. I flinch too. I hadn't meant to shout at him. The few students around me don't bat an eye at it, though. Oh, sorry about the yell. Oh no, it's fine. I managed to get the shot I wanted. The bespectacled boy, I think he's a parasaur, double-checks the camera's display and smiles. Yeah, perfect. This will be a fine print for the yearbook. Can I see? His grin seems to widen at my interest. Of course, here. He turns his display towards me, showing a shot of the hallway. And me as the focal point. Pretty good, right? I look a little closer and notice that I think it's a little out of focus. And dark. Where do you have your f-stop set at? Oh, shit. He stops and glances up at me, pleasantly surprised to get a real answer. Yeah, I'm a bit of a photographer myself. I'm taking it as an elective, too. With Mr. Edekan? I'm trying to go for like something between Ringo Starr and Austin Powers. I'm not sure I'm hitting it quite right. Thinking back to my memorized class size schedule, the name does sound familiar. Yep. Oh snap, cool. We'll be classmates. Mr. Itakan's busy, so he just teaches it for one period. He's a living nerd emoji. I'll believe it. You don't go about with those type of glasses and not be a living nerd emoji. He offers his hand out for a handshake. The question is, will I be able to remember this voice long term? I'm Ben. Inco. Friend achieved. I'm actually new here. Kinda figured, being the only human student this year and all. St. Hammond isn't one of the more popular schools, but the staff put a lot of effort into the arts programs. Even the campus itself is designed like a living art piece, so if you ever need help... From the pause, I'm guessing he's offering some help. I wouldn't say no to a tour. A tour, you say? Well, I'm only going back to the principal's office, but I can point out some neat stuff along the way. He raises an eyebrow to himself in contemplation. Might be a good idea to meet the principal, too. He waves for me to follow him. Turns out he wasn't just an avid photographer like me, but also the school council president. You don't say. And one of his priorities was taking photos for the school's yearbook, for the first day page. Every few minutes we'd pause so Ben could take a couple of shots, mainly of the students talking with each other. And while I would watch, I had considered helping him in some way. I mean, that camera looks amazing, and there's all those extra lenses in the bag. I feel absolute elation to finally know someone that's into photography. And I really want to broach it, but Ben fills the air between us talking more about the school. Which is why we still go by the Feathertails, even though I think it's a tad distasteful. Dang, you're pretty good at this. Do you give these tours to all your new students? Not really, although it's something I've thought about a lot. Oh, hold that thought. Hey, Lunara! Ah, crap. How do I do this Gothitelle looking? Ben goes to greet a student picking up some intricate wall banners. Hey, Ben. Please tell me this isn't going to be a recurring character. You have a good summer vacation? I did. Great work on the decorations. They even look even better than last year's. Aw, thank you. Oh, that was so bad. What's all this for? She steps aside so I can fully view the banner she just finished with. The Cultural Arts Club. We meet every Thursday after school and look at antique artwork. She'd initially looked past me to talk with Ben, but she gasps when she realizes. Hey, you're a human, right? Oh, that's a silly question. You should totally join. I just love human culture. There's all this amazing set of ancient masks at my place from ancient Europe. I just adore them. Is this 201 million BC? The hell is ancient Europe to you? Wow, that's impressive. I think you'd make a good curator. You know what? I probably would. After that club display during Spirit Week last year, I gotta agree. We spent weeks studying that tribe and weeks more practicing those dances. We also study and paint with those styles, like we're learning the techniques of the old masters. Don't tell Picasso.
Hopefully, we can even get into sculpting, like those old Venus statues. We plan on getting one to look at sometime this year. What do you think? It'd be great if you could come.
Hey, that'd be neat. What do you say, Inko? Maybe. I do love culture.
Oh, that's great. Oh, listen, we have this old chieftain's dress we've had for ages. We just have to see what it looks like on the real thing.
Oh, think about it. No way. I'd sooner do a second Impact event than wear something like that.
Well, hey, nice to catch up, Lunara. We got places to be. Take care. Bye!
She waves us off, and Ben continues leading me to the principal's office.
Hey, Ben! Oh, hey, Michael. Listen, can't talk now, but I'd love to catch up later, yeah?
I'm floored. This guy seems to know just about everyone in school as much as they know him. Talk about being on top of things. He points out a few more minor landmarks in the school and stops to greet a number of students happy to see him after the summer break.
Man, sorry for having to stop so much.
No way, I think it's cool you know everyone.
Hey, if only it could be cool without making us late.
He notices a few more noteworthy landmarks, eventually leading me to its biggest draw. I already knew this place was known for art, but wow. Just outside the administrative offices, the hallway is filled with wonderful pieces of work. Paintings line the walls, with name placards beneath detailing who the artists were. All created by alumni and attending students of the school.
And this is the gala. All these pieces have been featured in all kinds of articles and presentations.
Whoa.
I know, right? One moment.
Ben turns to the nearest door and gives it a polite knock.
Who is it? It's me, Principal Scaler.
An Raptor, no older than her mid-30s, exits the room, holding a steaming mug and sporting a tired smile.
Good morning, Benjamin.
Man, if I could do a Captain Janeway, I would add it for her, because I get major Janeway vibes out of this character design.
Good morning, Benjamin. Good morning. Inko, this is our esteemed principal.
Good morning, ma'am. Her eyes shoot wide mid-sip of her coffee.
I hadn't noticed. You would be Mr. Gunito. You would be Mr. Gunito, yes?
Yes, but my name is...
Oh, how wonderful.
Gone is the exhaustion on her face, instead replaced with a very wide smile. And also, so too are my voice acting skills, considering I think I've given her 4 voices so far. She's from the Maud Flanders. No, I did not recognize her because I've hardly ever watched The Simpsons. But now that you mention it, I do see the familiarity. Which also doesn't help me considering I can't there's not really I don't have a good reference for Maud Flanders either. I mean, if I wanted to be silly, I could give her a Marge Simpson. I'm so happy that you've chosen our school for your last year. Oh, it's the teacher. That's okay. You know what? Like I said, I don't watch the fucking Simpsons. And again, that doesn't really help me either. I only really know Marge. I only can do the Marge. I am so happy that you've chosen our school for your last year, Mr. Nidu. Ben, be sure to give him a thorough St. Hammond welcome, okay? I'm just gonna go with this because it's gonna be funnier for me. That's a voice I can actually remember. I already was. If you ever need any assistance, my office is always open, Mr. Netu. Not to mention, the student council is also available for help. Isn't that right, Ben? Yes, Principal Scaler. Thank you, Principal Scaler. Oh, and Ben, a moment, please. But... The parasaur is dragged in the office, leaving me alone in the school gala. Whatever they're saying, I can't hear over the ambient noise of the student body. Either way, it's probably not something I meant to hear. I move a few feet away, out of earshot of the discussion inside. Huh? On the wall beside me is a framed panoramic landscape of the city, painted by hand. Huh. Wow. I could practically use this thing as a map for how detailed it is. No wonder it's hanging so predominantly by the principal's office. The gentle brushstrokes, the vibrant colors, the evening sun bouncing off of each of the windows, and the majestic scarlet sky enveloping the horizon. All of which combine together to give it a dreamscape feeling, like it's an idealized version of the city. It's beautiful. I've never been a big admirer of paintings, but I can't deny that this is a masterpiece. Only a teacher could have been able to express the scenic beauty of the city with this level of skill and passion. I withdraw my Cavon Stone 60 from my bag, and with the compact lens I keep, I barely fit the entirety of the painting in frame for the shot. Checking the copy on my display, I realize I left out the title and artist of the piece. The tag says, Dreamscape, Artist O. Halford, 9th grade. First place, 201M 2020. A freshman did this, jeez. Now that I look at the rest of the paintings, this is insane. It's all so much better than what I've made. Almost all the pieces are beautifully drawn. Acrylic, charcoal, pastel, and yet not even one photo. Hey, Inko, I'm back. I'm a senior. How on earth am I meant to even start measuring up here? Inko. What's that sound? Good. Oh, jeez. Ben nudges me back with the back of his hand as the commotion gets closer.
Hey, watch it, jackass!
Slow your roll, Leatherface!
My leg!
Now watch as the, perpetrator? Aggressor? Aggregator? Finally rounds the corner and comes barreling down the hallway, speeding right towards us. My instincts kick in, and I stumble to the side to avoid the oncoming collision. For just a split second, I get a good look at my assailant. A bleary-eyed, wheelchair-bound alligator. For the moment, we lock eyes. Wife. Yeah. Green scales, messy hair, and a faded purple hoodie. It can only be the love interest of the game. She propels herself forward with dexterous hands, spinning the large wheels on her. I only now notice that she's in a wheelchair. I didn't even know you could go that fast in one of those. Oh, brudda. She glances my way, and her pupils lock onto mine. Her gray and gold eyes are marred by bags, like she hasn't slept in days. The girl's entire presence is ghost-like. And that expression, it's like she's staring straight through me. I'm sure she barely registers my existence, but I don't think I'll ever forget that face. Just as fast as she came, however, giggity. She's gone. As she leaves, I feel like a weight is lifted from my shoulders. At least until I trip directly into a glass case behind me. Ugh. Hey, watch it! Whoops! The pterosaur's hand roves over the display carefully, his eyes filled with worry. You looking for something? Cracks. Usually when another student falls into them, there's some kind of crack or scratch. Guess it's just a dino thing. Humans are lucky you don't gotta sweat over this kind of stuff. That happen often? Often enough to drain school funds and repairs. That can't be good. Well, not to brag, but I do make do. A vibrato chime echoes through the now empty hall. I freeze. Tardy on the first day. Whoops. Sorry to run on you like that. You should get going to your first class. Won't I need a tardy slipper or something? Nah, it's the first day. Teachers are lenient. I'm fine either way since, you know. One of the benefits of being class prez. Drink to that. What's your first period? Physical education. Ben sucks the air through his teeth in a prolonged wince. Ugh. Yeah, you'll be fine. Gymnasium's down that way. Don't, keep him waiting too long. I need to get going too. Keep who waiting? Guy gotta go by. I gotta go now too, bye. Whoa, he walks fast when he has somewhere to be. I don't know, I've seen Triple Trip for no apparent reason. Very true. I mean, frickin' hell. I mean, I basically wear size 13 shoes. Like, my feet are big. It's a wonder I don't trip over them more often. That reaction doesn't exactly instill confidence in me. I follow Ben's directions towards the school gymnasium. After all the earlier commotion, it's the first quiet moment to myself. Might as well take it to finally sort my thoughts. Let's see, what do I think of this place so far? Well, it's certainly livelier than any other schools I've been to. Ever since I've stepped foot in here, everything has been so lively. You probably should have used a different word for that, and everyone seems so exuberant. There it is. Makes me feel a little out of my depth, since I'm so used to the opposite. Here, people like that girl earlier are eager to share their hobbies almost without being prompted. Everywhere else I've been, people just kept to themselves, like they're only there because they have to be. It hits me. The school's art program attracts people. The students don't have to be here. They're choosing to be here. That's why it's so active. It helps. It's definitely an argument for school choice, if you ask me. Well, alright. What can I do with this information? It means I can probably be friends with anyone I want, right? Weird to say, but with everyone here sort of working with each other, there's bound to be an insane level of camaraderie, too. Camaraderie or deeply held hatreds and rivalries. Maybe I won't even have to try? Good luck with that. I'm almost at the gymnasium now, though, so I'll hold this thought for later. Gym class, where the boys are separated from the men and where people with Herculean physiques are able to show off their sculpted bodies. I begin to remember how much I dreaded going to PE. The innumerable bad experiences from past schools pale in comparison to the many skidded knees and broken glasses. Hopefully this school's PE is a lot less grueling. As I stand before the wooden double doors leading into the gym, I'm struck with how empty the area looks. That's followed by me catching the sound of physical activity coming from within the gym itself. Shoot, I really am late. Ben's earlier warning echoes in my head like a foreboding spirit. I peer through the small windows on the doors and see students standing shoulder to shoulder. Towering over them is a primate who I can only guess is our gym teacher, with his arms crossed and a scowl on his face. I hope I can get away with being tardy. As I walk into the... My first thought is how lucky I am to be alive. I don't even know it was thrown at me, but it might as well have been a cannonball. I spot the gym teacher, and even though through his baseball cap, I can feel his stare of rage pierce my soul. Such intensity, in that ideal throwing form. It only missed by centimeters. That was a warning shot.
Know this and know it well, son! I have a policy. Each of my platoons gets one free miss from me a year! And you just spent it!
I shift my eyes to the students lined up to him, and they're so stiff with fear that I can't tell what they're feeling.
You got 3 seconds left on the front of your squadron. Why in the great name of Gavin Drocket you all late?
Well, he didn't even move. Hint taken! I shut my mouth. The simian scholar starts marching back and forth like a drill sergeant.
Listen up, because I'm only saying this once. In this class, we operate on tough love. We learn from our mistakes. You better pray to Raptor Jesus you don't forget them. Because if you do...
With 3 monstrous steps, the coach closed a distance of 10 yards to tower over me.
I will be very upset. It reflects poorly on all of us, and that is not something I will accept. So I would love to see you make it succeed. But if you don't, I'll make it unforgettable. Am I understood?
I nod my head in fear.
Frickin-tastic! Now then, join the rest of your ranks and stiffen up!
Once I confirm my bladder is intact, I shuffle over to where my colleagues stand. I feel them staring at me with anger, like I'm responsible for the coach's teaching style. What an appalling first impression to make. I should just quit and start over somewhere else while I still can. The teacher takes a second to glance over us, reminding himself of where he was before I had interrupted.
Maggots! You will all drop and give me 20 of the finest push-ups! Those guts be it best be it ants fought off that pristine gym floor or else!
I'm not doing that. With a violently loud blow of his whistle, the coach also takes his position to show the proper technique. I hide my wince as my knees impact roughly on the ground. The real pain starts as I try to keep pace with everyone around me. My biceps and forearms threaten to splinter from the weight of my body and the speed of my jerky movements. Dude, you weigh what, 130 pounds soaking wet? It's not difficult to understand why I can't do push-ups. I'm twice that weight. You should have no problem necessarily. I never realized just how badly out of shape I was. Were the world that badly out of shape?
On your feet, you bipedal slugs!
This guy, he ain't human. Some kind of primate, maybe? A close relative? I can feel my muscles hollering in pure agony as I force myself up from the gymnasium floor. By the time I'm back on my feet, my breathing is heavy and coming out in whistles.
Now then, since it's only the first day of school, how about we have ourselves a good old game of dodgeball?
Did he just say dodgeball?
Oh yeah, dodgeball time.
She had a glance over the over-enthusiastic dino next to me, who was absolutely elated by the prospect of the upcoming game. They only finished the warm-up and my muscles are already screaming. My knees shake, my lungs burn, and I'm so drenched in sweat that I'm sure I might need a shower after this. I really don't want to play dodgeball.
Aren't we lucky? First day of school, we get to play a game.
I don't do dodgeball.
Why not?
I'm not exactly...
All right, maggots, pick a side and keep the numbers even!
The song playing right now is Americana, the funny Blodge DT Noblar's namesake. Ah, okay.
This is a suicide match!
And free-for-all, too!
And why don't you socialize by picking your teammates? Change, you're on blue team!
Wait, but why are there teams if it's free-for-all?
Alright, I'm going with the human dude!
Before I can figure out the rules for this dodgeball game, the Dilophosaurus wraps his arms around my neck and brings me to his side of the field.
Oh, and one last thing.
His leering tone frees me to the spot.
What's the first rule? We only got one!
Have fun?
Getting the weakest one!
Wait, what? In a matter of seconds, the gymnasium becomes a full-blown battleground. I do my best to dodge the oncoming flurry of red rubber spheres coming my way like bullets. I dive to the ground, avoiding the oncoming projectiles as they soar overhead and pelt my comrades. I hear the blows and the guttural groans of those who've already succumbed to the onslaught of inflated orbs. Combat crawling away from the fierce front, I entrench myself along the edge of the field with the hopes of being ignored. I cast my gaze to the rest of my allies and, oh god, it's a full rout. So many So, how's the first day of school treating you, bro? I look up to see the Finn Dino, the same pink Dilophosaurus who had dragged me to his side of the court, staring down at me and smiling. What do you think? I watched it casually dodge an incoming ball before throwing his own. Name's Damien, by the way. Inko. Nice to meet you.
You two, Chrome Golden Frills! Who's and you two had time to talk? Does my gymnasium look like a debate stage?
A little bit, yes. That's usually where they happen. I mean, maybe if we got some of those stands in the auditorium, maybe. I know a guy's uncle could make a really classy podium. I look at Damien with absolute bewilderment. To be fair, that's kind of the snark I would use. What is this guy thinking? The coach looks like he's about to explode.
Play smart with me, son! Keep your chops shut and eyes focused on the enemy!
Damien just smiles and gives the coach a thumbs up, as if he weren't in the middle of an active war zone. You got it, Mr. Sully.
That's Coach Sully, ain't you? And what's the hold-up shades? You're just making yourself an easy target on the floor! Get up and play to win!
All right, I guess it's my time to do something of worth. But I'm not exactly good at dodgeball. Oh, maybe I can do the whole blocking thing for everyone. That should hopefully make it so that everyone isn't peeved at me for wasting the warning shot. But here's where things change. I can totally turn this around. All is equal in the court. A ball aimlessly rolls to the floor in front of me, calling out to be my ammunition. I somehow weave through two shots at me and pick up the ball. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it now. I'm on fire! There's no way I'm losing now. I grab onto the ball and start blocking any shot that so much as crosses our side of the field. Yeah, I'm doing great! Block 1, block 2, block 3. Now I'm really feeling it. I bet everyone's looking at me now. Any thought of playing the game, something left my mind like it was never there. Who cares? Doing this is more than enough. I can be the star. Hey, new guy! The new voice catches my attention. A Crimson Parasaurus. Think fast! What? Ooh. Oh. No more pudding for me, Mommy. I'm going to the zoo. The floor is cold. Maybe I shouldn't have come here at all.
Yeah, you never know when something funny is gonna happen on this show.
Did something funny happen?
Yeah.
You'd never know it.
That alert why are my alerts frickin' sentient? A pair of extremely dirty sneakers entered my field of view.
You're gonna get up, Shades.
No, I give up.
What are we waiting for?
For it to get tacky.
Well, another first on this show.
How's that?
Well, it's the first time we've had to wait for it to get tacky.
Oh man, that hurts. How long was I out? I'm laying down on something soft. Where am I? My vision clears, and I sit up from the plastic bed. Ugh, sure is bright in here. Oh shit!
They broke my sunglasses. Lucky I brought my reserve pair.
Swing. Yeah. Much better.
I stand from the rubber mattress, taking in the tiny room finally. All alone? Not even a school nurse or anything? Oh, there she is. Looks like she's attending to another student who has his snout stuck in a cone. Huh. Looking at the clock on the wall, it's already noon. That would explain the pounding headache. I just noticed this. This is funny. This is great. What is this? This is an Undertale reference, right? Long dog, long doge. That would explain the pounding headache.
Finally awake, Shades?
It's a brachiosaur. Well, I figured it was brachiosaur, but I've also remember there being like a Undertale reference that does this exact thing. But it being a brachiosaur is definitely a good way of theming that. Kinda, lesser dog does. Yeah, that's what I was referencing there. But at any rate. Yeah, it's a combination of dinosaur, lesser dog, and Joe crap.
Alright, finally awake, Shades.
I set Ramrod straight, the fear of God stricken into me once more.
Calm yourself, cadet. You ate dirt pretty hard back there.
Oh man, yeah. Wait, you did that?
I did. Pelted you right in the back. You know why?
Because I messed up?
Be more specific, kid.
Because I couldn't be a good teammate and got hit in the face?
Wrong. It was after that.
Nothing happened after that.
No, you gave up.
But I was doing well.
You think so?
I was blocking the balls and all.
You weren't blocking anything. You were showing off. You found a single thing you could do and started dancing around like a clown. You focused on the easy thing and gave up the real thing. You were so focused that you forgot to look around for a moment. And here you are. I know a defeated man when I see one, and there's no way in hell I'm letting a student of mine give up so easily.
Leastways, he's got some amount of, what's the word I'm looking for? Integrity?
It's the first period on the first day, and you're already giving up. Either way, that's a pretty bad lump you ended with. You gotta watch around some students, if you know what I mean.
I blink a few times and recall the chick that yelled at me to catch, followed by pounding me in the face.
That one, she's...
He chuckles to himself a bit.
She's something, all right.
Yeah, looked like the devil herself.
Anyways, take the rest of the day off, kid.
What?
I'm telling you to go home. The principal gave the okay.
I feel my head again. Another stab of pain. Am I really not good to go back to class? Wasn't I getting lectured about this just a few moments ago? Well, I don't want to give up so easily.
No, you should go home to your folks.
He scratches the back of his head, slightly embarrassed.
Right. About that. We tried calling them earlier. Couldn't reach them.
I give a sad half smile. Yeah, sounds about right. I can make it home fine on my own. He nods.
When you get back, don't give up so easily.
He holds the door to the nurse's office open. I nod and exit the office, Coach Scalie closing the door behind us. Not a big fan of tea, but I'm getting the impression that this hot cider is going to be very helpful for my throat.
Oh, and here's for tomorrow.
A brown paper bag is shoved in my arms, along with my backpack. Peeking in, I see something blue and gold wrapped in plastic.
If you hadn't been late, you could have changed into those.
Thank you, sir.
Next time, Shades, think faster. Got it?
Yes, sir. His smile is positively unnerving.
Now scram, cadet.
Hey, at least he's willing to give it a go and try. Well, this is officially the worst first day I've ever had. And it's right about here that I stopped playing. Didn't want to get too deep in when I just wanted to check it out. As my feet drag along the linoleum floor. Why is that such a hard one to get? I can't help but painfully think of all the failures of my past few hours. No thanks to a very prominent bump on the back of my head. Ow. Guess the point he stopped at immediately mumbles his words. Pretty much. I'm worse than everyone here on a creative and physical level. I know I really shouldn't be bothered by it, but I hate seeing just how far behind I am compared to everyone else. And I thought I'd make new friends. Well, what about Ben? What about Damien? What about dangerous dodgeball devil dino girl? Get the distinct impression she might be fond of you. Gushers. What was I thinking? I stop and shake my head a bit. What the heck am I doing skulking like this? It's a bad first day, but it's just the first day. There's still all the rest. I still met Ben and Damien. They're pretty cool. I'm not going to let my optimism be ruined just because of a bad dodgeball match. Just you wait, St. Hammond. Today was a test run. Tomorrow's the real deal. Morning comes. Weekend comes, my cycle hums, grooving all week with you. I would be positively stunned if a Happy Days reference showed up in this game. We just get Ralphie, Chachi, Potsy, the Fonz. Maybe Mr. and Mrs. Cunningham. That'd be interesting. I almost want to say that this. Oh wait, no. This is the dark. Okay, that's Batman, Iron Man, or Bat Dino, Iron Dino. Maybe just Avengers, Dino Avengers. This one I'm not quite catching the reference on. But holy crap! Where are you? What did your folks do that this is your room, man? I've always had a decent internal clock, but it's a new record for me to get accustomed to a new sleeping schedule in just one day. Especially with this fully grown lump on my scalp. I move an arm from my sheets and feel my head. Yeah, that's bruised real good. Could be worse, though. Alright, time to get up. I slump out of bed and yawn, stretching my arms and cracking my spine a bit. It's a wonder how your spare sunglasses didn't break in bed. My new room is pretty nice. Yeah, I can tell. Do you see this light fixture? Quite spacious, even with all the still sealed boxes.
Just as I thought.
What's that?
After this show, nothing hurts.
I brush my hand over one of them, the one with my other clothes. Let me guess, you're not going to open it because you're going to be wearing the same blue jacket all game? I'll get around to opening them at some point. Right now, though, it's time for breakfast. I shuffle downstairs into the heart of the house. The morning sunbeams shining through the window draw my eyes to look out to the new neighborhood. The driveway is empty. Looks like my parents are already gone for the day. No surprise there, really. It's all they ever focus on. A shiver runs up my spine as my feet step on the icy tiles of the kitchen. You could at least always put on socks. My eyes are drawn to some taped up boxes that are still scattered about on the counters. There's a familiar sticky note on the fridge, and I don't even have to read to know what it says. At this point, Mom's just wasting paper. The least she could do is reuse the same note and make small addendums to it. I snag a plate from the nearest drawer and open up the freezer. No fresh produce to be seen, but there's still the mostly full box of breakfast burritos. Yeah, I've been trying to appreciate ethnic cultures more. Yeah, frozen burritos. Plate loaded with a couple of the minuscule flour-wrapped meals, I set the microwave and wait for the burritos to hopefully not explode or burn inside. While I wait, though, I check my phone. I scan over my newsfeed and check out some of the people I'm subscribed to, but there's something to watch. I'm hoping there's something to watch during my meal. Unfortunately, nobody posts videos or streams this early in the morning. Guess just watch a suggested video then. I prop my phone up and click on something random. At the ding of the microwave, I retrieve my breakfast, carrying it carefully so I don't burn my hands on the bottom of the plate. I give the first burrito a test bite and... ugh, the inside is still cool. I don't want to stick it back in though, the tortilla would just become a brick then. I shrug it off, continue chewing, and watch my phone. Top of the morning, folks! You randomly click on Jack's septic stone. By the time the video ends, I've finished the half-thawed burritos. Pocketing my phone, I slip the plate back into the sink and head out for the day. This time, I'm at least getting through the day. Today, survival. Tomorrow, thrival. You can think that. I'll work on it. This dino chick over here looks like she's got, like, just a little bit of a mustache. I realize that should be, like, her mouth. But there's a little dot here that makes me think that that's her mouth and that's a mustache. On the metro again, I take a little more time to check out my surroundings. Beauty mark. Alright. That's also believable. The sun shines through the windows across from my normal seat. There's one chick that was there yesterday, probably on her way to work. If we're talking about the one with the mustache, it's probably a set routine for her at this point. She always does a bit of makeup first and then checks her phone for the rest of the way. When the sun shines through the window, it highlights her hair in a really neat way. Like a movie poster almost. I'd take a picture, but it might be a little too awkward for me. Who's the... okay. Also, everything's disappeared. Why is it so dark?
How's St. Hammond treating you so far, Mr. Nito?
A voice so deep I feel it reverberate in my bones calls from above. I'm taken aback at his authoritative stature. You sure you're not the principal? His head is nearly grazing the top of the passenger car. How did he even get in here? Oh, it's been great so far, Mr. Furs. He offers his hand out for a handshake, though his palm alone smothers my entire hand. How do you know my name?
You're clearly going to school. The nearest one is St. Hammond. And I'm already aware of a new human student, if you don't mind my profiling.
Whoa, you got all that just from looking at me?
I'm partially joking. Your full name is printed on your backpack. You know that's dangerous, right?
Oops. Yep, that's me, all right.
But please, I know it's been only a few days since the year started, but I'd like to hear your opinion so far.
Is this a questionnaire or something?
Not exactly, but it is of some importance to an assignment of mine.
Oh, really? What does that mean?
What am I being secretive for? I'm here to audit your school, see the teachers, know the students, make sure it's a proper place of learning. I wish it were something worth being secretive about.
That would have been so fun. It would be like St. Hammond Art School under federal investigation by the Dino FBI. The principal caught in scandalous affairs. I don't know.
More often than not, it's just paperwork and office politics.
Oh, all right then. My thoughts on the school so far. I consider telling him about a teacher nailing me with a dodgeball to make a point. Nah, I'm over it.
Well, the classes
that I have are great, and the teachers I have are a dynamic bunch. He thumbs the inside of his coat pocket for a pen, but decides he doesn't need it yet.
I see. Any favorites?
I mean, I don't like to have favorites, but all the staff seem pretty lively. That's a heavy, rumbling chuckle.
That's certainly good to hear. And what of your fellow students? Made any friends?
It's been a bit of a struggle, but it's always been that way for me since my folks move around a lot. I think I'm doing pretty good this time around.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's the jacket.
The jacket.
I give my lapel a quick tug for extra style points. The Coastline Cotton Nylon Bomber number 32. Part of the latest catalog by A&F.
I see.
Does he need to lean in so close to inspect it? If the carriage rocks in any way, he'd probably turn me into a piece of modern art against the window.
And that's really what the youth are into these days.
Hey, the results speak for themselves. Whatever he's thinking about, it's got nothing to do with his work. I think I have a pretty good idea on what it could be, though. Mr. Ferris, do you got no swag? Don't even have the proper balls to actually do it. Like, do you got no swag?
Encore! Bravo! Encore!
He's a credit to his race.
What race is that?
The 100-yard dash.
I say myself as I myself wearing a t-shirt with Beaker on it, being like, what, are y'all not hip with the kids? And a Beaker t-shirt, I'm drinking hot apple cider and eating the poor facsimile of candy from my childhood. Although I will admit, I think gushers have survived the ages long better than some.
Oh? Well, I guess that probably answers it. I admit to being a little gray. I'm aware I'm not exactly with it anymore.
Well, even the older generation can dress to impress. You just have to see what people today like to wear. I hate to break it to you, but I think he's got the better idea. 'Cause, like, a good suit is timeless. This shirt?
What did you think?
Shocking!
Yes, but was it funny?
Of course not. That'd really be shocking.
I guarantee you, nothing bought from Abercrombie and Flint is going to be in style in even 2 years. Heck, you'd be lucky for it to survive the season. Swag is absolutely dead now. Yes, I agree.
I'm certainly willing to listen to the youth of today, yes. It is somewhat important to my job to know how the student body thinks. And my niece often suggests dressing more relaxed, whatever that means.
Who wants to bet that his niece is actually Dino Dodgeball Devil Girl? I'm probably wrong, but it'd be an interesting inversion of the Mr. Krabs thing. Does she ever see you in casual clothes? I'm wearing them now. Huh. I can save him. The rest of the trip was quick, but we continue with small talk about trends. When we arrive at my stop, he attempts to give me his business card. For someone whose mere presence can stop a fight, he seems like a genuinely nice fellow. I look forward to talking to him again. Oh god, those burritos were a mistake. My stomach is roiling after the warm-ups.
All right, maggots! Today we'll be working on your cardiovascular system! By that I mean a good old-fashioned mile run! I want everyone out on the track field yesterday!
I noticed Damien's mouth open as soon as Coach Sully yells the words.
No, Damien, that doesn't mean I want you to time travel! Unless, of course, you mean running so fast that you hit 88 miles an hour!
Love the reference! And just as quickly, Damien shuts his mouth again and shoots Sully a thumbs up. Patience of a saint, this man! Sully's only reply is to let out a snort.
Don't time it now, cupcakes!
There's no hesitation from me this time. I follow the rest of the class and do the run Sully wanted. As expected, I rapidly fell behind the pack. So would I, frankly.
Hey, Inko, nice of you to drop by. How you doing?
Damien, what are you doing back here?
Keeping my new buddy company, of course. What are you doing? Trying not to vomit? You're doing great then.
Thanks, I guess. Shouldn't you be the very front of the pack, though?
Next to Mia? Nah, man, not her.
Mia?
You know, the one who knocked you out yesterday.
A brief flashback reminds me of the red Parasaurus. Ah, her.
And by the way, glad to see you're doing way better today. You're even up and running.
Yeah, glad I didn't wind up with permanent brain damage. Hey, question. Was what happened yesterday normal around here?
Well, Mia's a wild one, that's for sure. Best not to mess with her, unless you're into those kind of chicks, in which case, be my guest. As for Sully, yeah, he's always like that. You'll get used to it, though. He ain't that bad a guy once he warms up to you.
If you say so.
Hey, don't worry, man. You're gonna fit right in no time flat. In fact, you just sit with us at lunch. That way we can give you the proper welcome and stuff.
Lunch, I mean...
Inko, Damien, don't fall behind!
Sully's voice snaps me from my mini stupor and makes me realize just how far behind Damien I had actually fallen behind the rest of the class.
Whoops! Better catch up with the others before Sully brings out the punitive measure.
Excuse me, the what?
You don't want to find out, brother. Trust me.
What?
Come on, dude, let's jet.
Before I can say another word, Damien gets behind me and starts pushing me forward, forcing my legs to move faster than I ever should have. I had to struggle to not trip over myself, but somehow I managed to keep up the pace that Damien was forcing my whole body to maintain.
Oh! I live here now.
5 minutes and 3 more laps later, I fall flat on my ass. My heart beating so fast and lungs burning so fiercely that every breath feels like sandpaper scraping against my throat.
Man, this guy is a weakling.
Regardless of that, though, I finished the jog. I'm not sure how long it took him to do those first few laps, necessarily, but 3 laps around a presumably quarter-mile track in 5 minutes, that's a remarkably good time. At least as it would be for me. First small step towards conquering my physical weakness.
Good job, maggots! Keep this up and you'll be soldiers yet!
Sully turns to me with a slight grin, shoots me a thumbs up.
Okay, that's all for tonight. Hit the lockers, cupcakes!
Damien helps me back up, and I join the rest of the male students as we head back to the locker room. We talk a bit more about our interests and other school matters on the way, Damien filling me in on a bit of St. Hammond's history during the 3 years he'd been in attendance. By a bit of luck, our lockers aren't that far apart from one another, but our conversation isn't a real possibility considering all the other ones going on in the relatively cramped locker rooms. There really isn't that much more time to chat before the bell rings for our next class switch. I wave goodbye to Damien and start looking for my next class.
Don't forget, lunch with the buds.
I nod in reply as I turn around and head down to the hall toward my next class. I know it's not going to happen, but I'm going to be very disappointed if Dexter isn't in one of our classes. Making my way down the hall, I take notice of the surroundings. Although everything about the school seemed pretty normal, there are some key modifications made to better suit the majority of the student body. Note, those marks on his shirt aren't graphic errors, they're marks from where he spray painted that logo on. Huh! I didn't actually think those were graphical errors. But no, honestly, that's fairly sharp stencil work, not gonna lie. Overspray notwithstanding, but yeah. Well, that's a cool little bit of detail. Mainly water fountains that settle a good 10 or more feet above me. There's certainly high ceilings, that's for sure. Overall, nothing crazy special. This next class I'm sort of looking forward to. AP Art Design. Oh no. The class looks like it's in a studio classroom on the second floor. Part of the school here is built to be both inside and outside, with open ceilings and walls here and there. An absolute pain, I'm certain, during the colder months. But since I seem to remember the Volcadero High is supposedly something like a Los Angeles or San Francisco or something like that, some analog to Southern California, it's probably fairly okay long term. That one almost went down, Rod. Since it's also the art wing, the displayed pictures are coated in hydrophobic layers and framed. Very nice. Good. Although since it's the start of the year, the halls are freshly cleared, waiting to be filled in as the semesters pass. Of course, there's no shortage of drains. Perfect. This hall in particular is displayed prominently in the school's advertising material, and for good reason. The carefully and expertly built dynamic between the surrounding nature, the school, and even the building materials themselves is nothing less than mystical. Might be a little hard to say that. I can already feel the creative juices flowing. Just wait until it becomes mundane. Soon enough, I'm standing just outside the door to my next class. Much like the school wall outside, it's decorated in various colors and patterns, each corner painted and tagged by different students. I barely step foot inside before the bell rings. Since I was the last one in, all but one of the other seats were taken. It's pretty close to the front. I always tend to like either the third or fourth row if I could get away with it. While many of the students look well prepared, some are clearly ready to fall asleep within the next few minutes. Then there's a teacher. He's standing up by the board, waiting for me to finish looking around and take a seat. Oh Christ, what voice am I going to give this delightful chap? Since he isn't urging me to take a look for a seat, he must be used to new students taking it all in. Or completely in his own world. That must be the art teacher. Somehow he looks young and old at the same time. It's the ponytail. Well, don't want to hold up class for too long. Trying not to take the teacher's hospitality for granted, I take the seat closest to me in the front row.
Even with me sitting down, the art teacher still continues to idle, instead staring at the seated students with a hazy stare. He's lost in his own artisticness. No one else seems to be paying attention to him, save for a few people here and there. A few students are whispering something behind me.
Where was he yesterday?
Hey, I'm not complaining about less work.
Yeah, but on the first day?
Huh. So, in a way, it's the teacher's first day as well. So, I didn't miss anything in this class. That's pretty cool, actually. The teacher slams the front of his desk with both fists, the sound echoing through the classroom. It's the signal for all auxiliary conversations to cease, and the class obeys. Despite the sudden furniture abuse, and minus 30 HP for Desk Kun, as I can imagine, the teacher doesn't look agitated. Rather, he's got a massive grin on his face. Why am I now It's probably also the music, but I'm now getting a little bit of sadistic out of this. The phrase winning smile comes to mind. Right there! Oh, why am I doing that? Right then! The pale pterodactyl holds what looks to be a metallic tray on a stick. Good morning, class! What am I doing? Thank you, Raptor Jesus, for forcing me to wear prescription shades. My classmates are all wincing in pain and wiping at their eyes. And welcome to AP Art Design! I'm just gonna go with that. He holds up the stick haphazardly. That's a fucking feather or a quill. This is a flash pan. Saw it in an antique store yesterday, and I thought it'd be a good introduction. It's not important. Worthless, actually. The class winces as the stick is chucked in the garbage bin and shattered. Excuse my absence yesterday. I had managed to take care of elsewhere. Oh, really? Speaking of matters to take care of elsewhere, I'm going to make myself another cup of drink. What, you think I'm going to be doing this random self-imposed voice acting class without something to help? I don't know. We'll just let my kettle warm up again. Hey. My name is Mr. Idakan. Idakan. I can't pronounce this name.
No.
Eadakan. My name is Mr. Eadakan. Thanks, memes. As always, you have the pronunciations of these weird ones. Within the blink of an eye, the teacher has replaced the sun on the stick with a fancy marker and managed to scrawl his name across the board in the finest show of calligraphy. And I shall be your guide as we explore the expanse of the creative world. Let's not dilly-dally then, shall we? For a teacher, he's very animated. This first week, we'll be going in depth on the history of the fundamentals of art. Perhaps a little trial by fire as well, to get your creative juices flowing. There were murmurs from my classmates, though I paid them no mind. In fact, the prospect of doing some creative work, to create something that I could possibly show off. For a brief moment, I pictured my own name on a placard in the hallway outside the principal's office. For now, though, I'd like you all to open up your book to page 3. Right, my butt. Wait, what book? Wait. Looking around, I see that everyone else has a novel-sized hardcover book opened. Oh. They must have gotten them yesterday. Now then, class, we'll be starting with my beeping kettle. And that's not a euphemism or a Koseki Biju thing. Hey, the first cup lasted an hour and a half. That should be fine. Hesitantly, I raise my hand. Mr. Yatakan, sir? I don't have a book yet. You don't have... How? The substitute passed them all yesterday. Oh. His eyes flicker open a second as he connects some internal dots. The word of the street is some new kid got concussed so hard he had to leave early. Did the street at least mention I was doing well before that? Oh, of course not. You're Mr. Nito, then. Yes, sir. Given the circumstances, I'll let it slide. For now, why don't you share with one of your classmates? After class, I'll write you a note that you can give to the librarian. Thank you, sir. I kind of regret being so late, because the only person I can realistically share with is the person to my side. So, hey. Oh, wait a minute. Of course, we had to have the awkward actual interaction phase. Wasn't she the one speeding through the hallway yesterday? What a look. Hang on. I actually need to grab that. I can think of an amazing use for that immediately. Just like back then, I feel her gaze, piercing and cold, as if she's not even seeing me next to her. Would it be okay to share the book? It'll only be for today. Instead of a verbal response, she lets out a defeated low groan like I just spit in her cereal. Are you stepping in my cornflakes? Let me tell you something about stepping in other people's cornflakes. It's a really weird way to eat cornflakes. Who wants to get that one? Throw that guy, have memes, throw that... Yep, there we go, there we go. First spam of the night, thrown into memes alligator pit. She lets out a low defeated groan like it just spit in her cereal. She then huddles back over her page. Gee, sorry I asked. It's only the first day, maybe I won't need it? Olivia, come on, share with him this one time. I've already told him I'd personally resolve the issue. Just help me out here, alright? She responds by making a show of sighing deeply while rolling her head back and around. Ordinarily, there'd be a groan to go with the gesture, but she remains silent. Her head hangs low in defeat, and she nudges the book a few centimeters closer to me. Thanks? I slam my own desk close to her, just enough that I can read the page. While our teacher orates the page as if reading from Death of a Hunter, I follow along while simultaneously trying to capture anything that stands out into my notebook. A lot more difficult than expected as Mr. Iyatakan seems to put emphasis on every word he spoke. I felt like I was just copying the page wholesale. My eyes turned from the book to the girl's notes, and... There's some very murderous-looking claws on her fingertips. For a split second, I see them retract. She wipes her fingernails on a small hand towel and... Whoa, the claws extend again into a bright red puddle on her desk. A singular red-colored claw is pressed on her paper for a moment, then quickly tugged and twirled and twisted. Clever? A fascinating character development. Dark, 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 if it is exactly what I think it is. Leaving behind a bright red cursive sentence on the page. Cool. Those silver irises flick my way once more. What? What you're doing. Looks pretty cool. A hint of red creeps across the girl's cheeks. She looks back at the book and hunches her shoulders as high as she humanly, dinally, can. Huh? She's now leaning over her notes, too, even using the book as extra protection for the pages. I should be focusing on my own notes. Yeah. An impossible task now, though, as the colorful calligraphy next to me has piqued my curiosity. The quill talon continues to delicately etch nodes on... Okay. Okay. I may have misunderstood that. Okay. Retractable claws, bright red puddle. I thought she was using her own blood to write notes. With the blood off the tip of her claws, or her retractable claws. I must have missed the part where she was using like a quill. Or unless she's still talking about...
He shouldn't have jumped. The show's not that bad.
I genuinely don't know how to... She has a puddle of ink. Okay. Sure. Alright. That's me just not interpreting that correctly. Fair enough. You gotta admit, though, that'd be pretty kind of cool, though, right? To a degree. And it only leaves a page to dip in what looks like a tiny paint palette at the edge of her desk. The claws extend again, and now there's a faint rumbling. Hey. I hadn't meant to get caught up in it. Sorry, I wait for her to give me a name. She doesn't. She simply returns our focus to the book between us. I wonder what her deal is. 3 to 4 years of, I don't know, simultaneously not being challenged and or bullied or dealing with some issues in her personal life that are reflecting poorly upon her artwork, and that we're probably going to find out later on in the story that are all impending. It's a high school drama visual novel. Do you think this isn't going to be like... In either case, I turn my attention back to class. I hope I can make up for lost time. Repeat what you said? Got distracted. Not to... I really didn't say much of all... at all of interest. It's hard to ignore the Gator Girl, though. It'd be kind of hard to ignore anybody in this situation. Especially when those icy gray eyes of hers feel like icicles poised to stab through me. Hey, wait a second. Those hand motions. She's not writing anything right now. She's drawing. Well, it's none of my business. But I am rather curious. I'll make a show of leaning back to yawn. Now I can see it's... Huh. It's a calligraphic doodle of me. That's neat. There's no mistaking it. That's my jacket and sunglasses. If only for the negative space, but yeah. That's pretty cool. The use of negative space is very cool with this. Nobody's ever really drawn me before. Well, there were those others on the first day of school, but that's different. They weren't using their own claws or ink. Oh man, I can't wait. I gotta ask for a closer look. Hey. Your picture is super cool. Can I see it? She glares me in the eyes, but slowly brings out the sheaf she was doodling on. With the paper more visible, I can just barely make out the all-important details. The line work is sharp, each stroke an organic curve that when combined formed what had to be me. It even had my glasses, in the negative space of the head. Hey, I said that. Though, what was with the multiple swervy lines coming out of my drawing's head? Dude, this is great. She rolls her eyes and starts retracting the page. Can I take a picture of it? A pause.
Why? Nobody's ever done something like that for me. I want to remember it. She passes the paper over to me. It's yours. Whoa, really? Thanks. Don't mention it. But don't. She's nice. After a grueling period made worse by my own anxiety, the bell rings to set us free. And she is gone. Finally, freedom at last. Just stay for a minute longer, Inko. I get some sideways glances from the other students as I leave, no doubt suspecting my teacher's pen already. With a few strokes from his pen, Eatakan. I will make sure I remember that. Eatakan hands me a note. Just show this to the librarian and she'll hand you your books. On your way now. A quick trip to the library earns me my missing books. I even got a fancy laminated library card. Alliterative L's just seem to catch me for whatever reason. Eatakan's introduction to his class certainly has me excited for photography next. First stop, though, lunch. Can't take pictures on an empty stomach. Between my lackluster breakfast and gym class, I'm starving. Despite my hunger, though, I'm stopped dead in my tracks as I look around the cafeteria for a place to sit. Oh, shit. The whole place is overtaken by lawless anarchy. I've never seen a riot this intense. A few students have even crawled halfway up the wall, hanging by the decorative vines. You sure they're decorative and not structural? Food flies about everywhere, utilizes ammunition rather than sustenance. And yet the security guard by the door isn't moving. This must be acceptable? I shudder to think what would be bad enough to warrant him taking action. Never seen anything like this at any of my old schools. But more importantly, all the cliques have already formed from the previous day. I missed my chance to sit with anybody. What about Damien? Wait, it's only the second day. Why am I acting though it's too late for anything? Yo, Nico! I'm shoulder checked from behind with what it feels like an oversized fist or undersized boulder. If I wasn't already by a wall, I would have either been spent sprawling or made into roadkill. When I turned about, I met with Damien's toothy grin. What? 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 Already forget about me? You don't got anywhere to be, right? Yeah, you stuttered. Come on, we're going somewhere. May as well, right? Damien excitedly motions at me to follow through the traffic of students going about the lunchroom. Peering into the crowd, waving me over, and disappearing again like he's outrunning something. It's the mob. He's getting away from the mob. It's a good thing I hadn't gotten my own lunch yet. I'd be dumped to the ground about 3 elbows and a slap ago. Through the clamoring, I hear something about a turf war restarting with the new year, that the Megalodons will continue to rule. Somewhere mixed in is the undeniable sound of a steel chair clattering to the ground. The place is an actual war zone now. How on earth is Damien able to weave through these guys so easily? 3 years of practice. Eventually, he leads me to the far corner of the room and to his usual lunch table. Hey, you're alive! And I'm not deaf. I think one of my ribs is cracked. Nah, it's just the school spirit you're feeling. Ugh. I feel less like a person, more like a well-used punching bag. Finished stretching my wounded back and actually checked the table. It's basically empty. There's only one other person here. The Gator Girl gives an unamused, raised brow. Hey, you? Oh, snap! You know Olivia? Olivia, right, yeah. The one and only. Why do you tell me you already met her? Because I only sorta did. We're in the same class. Ah, okay, I get it now. Still, that sounds awesome. All my lunch buddies are artists. All? Oh yeah, there's usually a third in our group, but she's out screwing around in school business. Here's hoping it's not actually screwing the school business. There's a number of ways you can take that, and all of them make sense in high school.
She'll probably be back tomorrow. Student council stuff can't take that long, right?
What's she need with the student council?
You know, I'm really gonna enjoy it tonight.
You plan to like this show?
No, I plan to watch television.
Oh man, better to watch television. Let that cool a little bit more.
Oh, she doesn't need anything with the student council. She's in it. She's the treasurer.
There's the screwing.
The treasurer? Something like that. What do you think, Olivia?
Olivia just grunts in reply. She doesn't even bother to look up from her lunch tray. Aren't you an artist too, Damien?
Nah, I don't got the patience to sit around for hours like that.
So you're not taking advantage of the art programs here?
Don't really need them. Home's just real close by. Only other artist here today is Olivia.
His arms wave over to Olivia as if he was presenting her at an auction or something. For her part, the Gator Girl just grunts again. Well, what do you do then, Olivia? Finally, she looks up, turning an indifferent look my way. Did she just say something? What was that? The ambient war noises are a bit too loud. Can't hear a thing. Sorry, I can't hear anything you're saying over the...
Don't sweat it. She's just a real quiet type.
I paint!
Whoa, hey!
Holy hell, her voice sounds so raspy, as she's never drank a drop of water in her life. Guess I hadn't noticed before when she gave those one-syllable responses, but for someone's voice to be strained from a single shout? And you say that one-syllable responses, but she only gave 2 syllables in that one, so... She furrows her brow and looks back at her lunch.
Oh, snap, we've been standing around for a while.
He sits back in his own seat and takes a huge bite of mystery meat steak. Right, food. After workout and poor breakfast today, I'm particularly famished now. But the line. All eyes look to where the lunch line should be. And it's become a full-blown riot. Someone's got a fire extinguisher trying to stop it. Oh, joy.
Oh, I probably should have waited for you to get yours.
Oops. Damien returns to his steak, rather aggressively. But who am I to question dino etiquette in the act of using one's foot to anchor the food for tearing? Okay! Suddenly, the sound of squeaking rubber draws both our attention towards Olivia. She's holding on to one of her wheels, having just skidded across the granite floor.
Oh, what's up?
She tilts her head back towards a courtyard door behind us. It looks like there's a few vending machines out there. Huh. Guess I'll go check them out. I leave the group behind to try and get lunch. Not a fan of soda and chips for a meal, but it's enough for wartime survival. Hey, this thing accepts credit cards. Handy. I'm feeling like... my favorite color is drywall store brand soda. Hey, don't count out store brands on occasion. They're actually, some of them can be really good. Pretending to be on a diet. Baked chips. A huge fucking idiot. I'm gonna get a sports drink. Baked chips are actually pretty good, and I can't argue about sport drinks. Half-drunk Gatorade right here. I pick out a few other brands I recognize. Enough to tide me over for the rest of the school day. Wrong choice, you're now locked into E1. I was going to ask, how many endings are there, memes, and are there any ones that I should be particularly worried about, like the last one? Four. And who knows? God damn it. I do, but I'm not saying. I knew you knew. I believe you. Christ, this is gonna... And I'm not gonna find out for at least a month. I checked this on how long to beat. It was like, what, 18 hours for completion? I've been to pick up the fangs from the dispenser slot and... Fangs. Bags. That green chick's looking at me. Could always play it more frequently. I could. She notices me gazing at her and hunches over again hurriedly. What's that all about? Right. Making new friends. I'll buy a few extra sodas for the table. Carrying everything back in both arms, I place them on an empty slot, sliding a can of soda to Damien. He looks at me like I just tossed him a gold bar. Whoa, dude! The Dilo boy's mouth opens as he chomps at the bottom of the can, his fangs piercing the thin metal and spraying its contents down its gullet. I toss some over to Olivia as well. Her eyes stare as it were booby-trapped before taking a bag of chips. Damien sighs happily as he chucks the shredded remains of his can away.
Caffeine ambrosia. What were we talking about before? Olivia's art, right. She's really good, Inky. Like you wouldn't believe.
Can you at least stick to a nickname?
Really? Oh, totally. She's like won awards and stuff.
Is she? Can I see them too? It will take a year to finish this game. I highly doubt that. In fact, I could snap some glamour shots for you.
No need, dude. I've already got pictures on my phone.
No, I mean, hold on. I pick my backpack up from the floor, unzipping it and retrieving my beloved camera from it. I'm actually into photography. The Dino Man reaches for the well-aged DSLR, and on instinct I swat his hand away. Hey!
Oh, hey!
Sorry, force of habit.
What do you think, Olivia?
She eyes me up and down with that same furrowed brow. Aren't you the guy that ate dirt in the gym yesterday? Yep, no. She gave me a quick dirty glance before returning back to Olivia. It wasn't that bad.
It was pretty bad.
It wasn't. And how does everyone seem to know about it? Damien looks aside sheepishly. Oh,
I may have had a hand spreading the story around. I thought it was funny. Don't worry, though. Everyone has some embarrassing story. One time, I got my frills stuck in the bathroom stall.
I didn't need to know that. It took him an hour to get it out.
See? Everybody's got something.
Olivia popped the chips into her jaw, her face looking out to nowhere as if she's thinking of something. Damien leans close to me. One of his frills extends to hide from Olivia.
Dude, I haven't seen her talk this much during lunch since last year.
She said 3 things, and one of them was a grunt. Why the secrecy?
It's like a secret meeting. Those are cool.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, this is something else. She's really warming up to you, I can tell.
He sits back down properly. Honestly, this whole thing is a little creepy. She's probably not a bad person to talk to, but Damien isn't helping any. As eager as I am to make new friends this year, this is definitely not how I thought it would pan out. Maybe it's best that I get through lunch quickly and quietly. At least they have a spot to sit during lunch. Not like I'd have any other options.
Ah, there you are, Inko.
The voice rings out to greet me, which catches our attention. I see a familiar bespectacled face walk over to us with a lunch tray in his hands. Bespectacled.
Glad to see you made it to lunch this time. Oh, hey, Ben. I'm guessing you and Inky here already met. Introduced myself after I bumped into him the other day. These two almost sound a little too close. Speaking of bumps, you should have seen Inky here yesterday. Damien lets out a cackle and slaps me on the back, igniting the gym pains in my body and almost knocking my glasses off. Ben gives a concerned half smile. This must be my eternal torment for the rest of the semester. Yeah, about yesterday. Ben looks down the aisle of chatting students and signals to someone with his head. Standing 10 feet away from us, in an imposing-looking dinosaur girl with blonde hair, crimson scales, and sporting a fiery red leather jacket. Ah! Dino Dodgeball Demon Girl. What? Ben motions for her to come closer with a soft smile on his face and a nod. She smiles back, though her own is noticeably strained. Okay, I'm here. She slowly makes her way over, and I notice how some of the students begin to quiet down as she passes them by. Oh shit! This is literally this chick's just straight out of like that one out of Scarlet and Violet, the fire punk chick. At any rate. As she gets closer, her intense presence invades me, and even though we're about the same height, I feel like an ant about to get crushed under her boot. Somewhere in me, a synapse connects her face to me tasting bright red rubber yesterday. I really wish it hadn't. Inko, Mia here has something to say to you. Mia stays silent, but strides the last couple of steps rigidly to stand right in front of me. She sucks in air through her teeth. Sorry. The corner of the girl's lips start to rise. I didn't mean to knock your lights out. Behind her, I notice Ben wincing. The girl lets out a laugh and lays an arm around my shoulder, her smile growing wide once more. Heat keeps along my face as her muzzle nears my ear, especially when a puff of hot air blows by the lobe. The heat is torn away, though, when I feel her fingers dig roughly into my shoulder, and her sharp hiss of a whisper scrapes my eardrum. That ball was me being nice, Baldy. Screw the class over again, and I'll fucking end you. Nodding and understanding, Mia pushes me away with a small cheer. Yay! See? All clear now, Benny boy. Mia, that's not quite... Ah, boo, you know how I am. Her eyes flutter as she looks his way. Are these two an item? Australian accent. Okay. Her eyes flutter as she looks away. Yes, I know, but you promised you would be... nice, I know, and I was. So I'll be seeing you later tonight, Benny. Just like we promised. She waves us off collectively and backs into the crowd, vanishing before either of us could fully process her words and actions. Damien nudges my side. Dude, I think she likes you. Ben sighs. Yeah, sorry about that, Inko. I heard earlier about what happened at PE and connected the dots. Mia comes off as rough around the edges, but she's actually really sweet. I'll, talk to her more about it later. You and her, huh? Yeah, since the start of high school. Well, that confirms it. The classic jock and nerd pairing. Sounds like you're living the dream. You know it. But yeah, I'm sorry your first impression of her isn't ideal. That's fine, it was just dodgeball.
Not like she was looking to do something. Yeah. Damien? Hmm? Damien looks up from the rest of his meal, having selectively heard his name.
Could you not spread rumors around about your fellow classmates? Hey, no worries. Nico and I are cool. That still doesn't make it right. Sure, yes, sir, yeah.
He gives Ben a lazy salute. Ben merely sighs as he places his tray on the table and makes himself comfortable on the seat next to me. As he settles in, Ben notices my camera still out on the table.
Oh, is this your camera, Inko?
Huh? Oh yeah, I was showing it to Damien and Olivia earlier.
May I?
I feel my instincts kick in for a moment before remembering that Ben also works for the camera. Sure, have a look. I watch as Ben gingerly picks up my camera and gives it a thorough inspection.
I must say, as far as standard DSLRs go, yours is of very good quality.
It's nothing too special recent, really, just something I picked up a while back.
Well, you have good taste in camera models.
He hands me back my camera, to which I place it back into my backpack. Thanks.
With something like that, it'd be easy to get some great shots.
Well, I do have a small collection on a portfolio drive.
A portfolio? Oh man, I only just got mine a month ago. I bet you got like a dozen pieces to choose from for the New Year's art contest.
But what now?
Yeah, he missed that announcement.
What announcement?
The school has an annual art contest at the start of every new year. The winner gets a small cash prize, but the bigger prize is the fact that the winner's piece is submitted for publication in a couple big-time magazines.
And there goes Olivia. Oh. I would like to point out, I know exactly where this is going, and it's foreshadowed very well.
Oh, wow. That sounds awesome. Of course. But that also means a lot of the students plan ahead and work all summer for something to submit. Did you do anything for a bit?
These two, I gotta do something about these voices. They're far too familiar. They're far too similar.
Did you do anything for it, Ben?
Oh, you know it. Maybe I try going more into the less Ringo, more Austin Powers.
Well, good luck. Liz said she turned in the perfect pace yesterday.
Okay, now I'm interested. Finally, a chance to show my real skill at something I'm good at.
Hey, Olivia could help you out. With your shots and her art, you two could totally win. Right, Olivia?
Huh?
Olivia?
Huh? We all turn our heads to Olivia, only to realize that she's disappeared. I didn't miss it. When did she leave? Confused, I scan around the cafeteria, and my eyes meant to spot her through the crowd of students. She's rolling away towards the cafeteria doors, and quickly. Just like that, I lose sight of her as fast as I had seen her. I turn to look at Damien and Ben. Damien not only looks puzzled, but also disappointed for some reason. Ben, meanwhile, well, he almost looks annoyed that Olivia left.
Guess she hasn't changed.
So it seems. So it seems. The venomous sting to his words makes me feel like there's more going on than I'm aware of. I decide not to pry into it, but instead bring the conversation back. Well, I still want to try.
You can upload your submission on the school's website.
I'm gonna completely... I did the wrong choice for these voices. Oh, then I'll need an account.
You don't have one?
Don't think so. I've been told they'll get me that stuff ready by the end of the week.
Oh, sounds about right. Truthfully, it takes maybe about 5 minutes at most to deal with that. Then why the wait? Nobody wants to deal with it. Guess I'll wait then. Ben scratches the side of his head. I think there's someone in Stuco that can help you out, actually. It's a treasurer's duty day today. So that's where Liz ended up. I don't know any names, so maybe. I guess I'll meet Liz sooner rather than later. Think I'll take care of that before lunch is over then. See you in class, Ben. Yeah, sure thing. I'm losing my mind. Is that the 5th voice I've done for that guy? Later, Damien. Deuces, man. Tell Liz I said hi. I grab some of the leftover snacks from the table in my backpack and head out of the cafeteria. How are we doing? A little over 2 hours? Alright. Finally, I can show off my skills. Show that I'm just as capable an artist as anyone else here. And you're possibly not catching on. There might be some negative thoughts about photography in this school, perhaps. I'm not sure why. I don't know how they're going to convey that, but sure. The computer lab's in an offshoot room from our library. As for the library itself, aside from an unexpected emphasis on anatomy drawing guides, and it's pretty standard. Not to brag, but the school I was at for my freshman and junior years had a library with 2 floors. Probably should have read a thing or two with all those resources. I'm getting off topic. The computer lab is the focus. The calm tranquility of the library is overtaken by the organized sterility of the lab. 40 standardized sets of computers and monitors line the walls, forming a panopticon around the desk reserved for the teacher in the middle. Good use there. I remember them being organized differently in elementary school, but for a few years now, I've just been seeing this formation. Gee, I wonder why. Sounds to me like someone got caught one too many times working on more risque art pieces. The monitors are all turned on, but only one's logged in. Weird, there's nobody here. Damien and Ben said Liz would be here, though. Maybe she's in the bathroom? I'm not one to pry and snoop around, but I'm really pressed for time here. On screen, I see open PDFs and documents. Look finance-related and filled with abbreviations and jargon I don't understand. Maybe I can figure out how to create my account on my own. What are you doing? Die! Hornet High School! I didn't mean to scare you. Oh, thank Christ. This is a dino girl with an extremely long neck and not a specter. No, really, what were you doing to the fiscal report I was working on? I didn't do anything. What? Woo! I've been working on that all day. Why did you touch it? I didn't. I only minimized it, I swear. Right, I'm here for a reason. Are you Liz? The Brachiosaurus furiously reopens all her windows and for a while types out some information before acknowledging me again. Excuse me? Ben sent me. Probably get better out of that than maybe Damien. But who knows? But Ben did come this way, and I wanted to submit something for that art contest going on, but I don't have my school login info yet. Ben told me you'd be able to help. Ben, huh? Well, Ben and Damien. She mumbles something beneath her breath and turns her head back to me. Yeah, I'm Liz. Whoa. Inco. But, yeah. I'm new here, so I need an account. Not a problem at all. Liz sits down and cracks her knuckles as she starts typing away at the keyboard. Alright, let's see if I can get that done for you. In a flourishing display of spreadsheet software experience, Liz navigates and organizes several documents in seconds. I've always had the general idea that there were a lot of shortcuts and commands, but yeesh. She's resourceful. So, you're an artist too? Hmm? Since you want to enter the contest so bad. Oh, yeah, I'm a photographer. Yeah? How are you liking it here so far? Well, the students here usually jump to asking about what they're graduating here for so they can more easily form connections and collaborate. So, excuse me if I might be going a little too fast. No, not at all. I'm a bit more at ease now that you just explained it. It's pretty good, although I feel bad about missing most of the first day. It's not that big a deal. Guess not. Although, truth be told, I see those paintings framed in the hall by the principal's office, and it does put a bit of rain on my parade. Oh, those. Yeah, I get what you mean. I think it's like that by design, honestly. Something about breaking the students' egos. Then you end up wanting to improve like crazy so you can reach your goals. At least that's what happened to me. I'm planning to go to university and getting degrees in design and business. And that's just the start. I'm also starting to become an apprentice for art dealings, getting the right paintings for the right people. My tutor said I'm impressive enough I should start enrolling for any and all kind of the important universities around the country I'd like. Wow. I mean, I'm also pretty well off myself, but it never occurred to me that I should be this ambitious. Thank you. What about you? Kind of breaks the immersion when you see the lower half of her model, of her character sprite, and it's just like her hand. Like you can at least whatever. I'm going to be an influencer, blogger, and crazy popular. I'm going to publish in a photography magazine. I don't know, but it's going to be big. I think trying to aim for a magazine is probably nice. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Well, it's something. At least more than a lot of people here. What do you mean? Like half the school may as well just be in a daycare. Sorry if that sounds rude. We've got these school programs and even industry professionals coming in for lectures, but it's like some people are here just because their friends happen to be here too. No big plans, it seems. Yeah. Wait, you mean like Damien? Yeah, I shouldn't have mentioned it. He's still cool though, don't get me wrong. I hope me talking about him to you doesn't come across as douchey. He's definitely the friendly type. He even partnered with me in gym class and dragged me along to sit with him at lunch. Is that so? Yeah, he was really excited about it too. And then he introduced you to Olivia as well and tried to break the ice so she can come out of her shell? Yeah, how'd you know? Oh boy, I'm sorry about that, Inko. What, is Damien messing with me? No, Damien is great. He's just maybe a little too eager. If he considers you a friend to him, he'll want to be your friend too. Specifically, he'll want you to be Olivia's friend. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing at all. But you've seen Olivia. You can probably tell she's a bit unresponsive. Doesn't really like to talk to anyone, not even Damien. So you can definitely try to be her friend, but just know that she'll most likely ignore you. You don't like Olivia? What? No, I do. She's fine, I guess. I sit with her during lunch after all. And I'm sure you'll get along with us just fine. And hey, I'd love to see Olivia make a friend. Just don't get too invested trying to get her to warm up to you. Damien will always be down to hang out, though, and I certainly don't mind. It's just that him and Olivia are nigh inseparable. So if the deal turns you off, then it's not your fault either. There's history to that warning. Inseparable? So like girlfriend and boyfriend? Oh, no. They just live in the same house. Oh. Damien's also just incredibly patient and outgoing. I envy him. But yeah, he would like nothing more than everyone getting along like best buddies. Unless you're like Damien and you can be pleasant to a brick wall forever, your time is probably better spent elsewhere. So,
How serious are you about your ambitions? Pretty serious, I think. Liz nods. Something to keep in mind, then. It's a struggle, but like Damien says, we gotta keep trying, right? Liz gives me a half-hearted smile, but she still seems sad about something. Anyways, sorry for talking your ear off about private matters. You still want to get that submission turned in? She stops for a second on one tab to scan for something. And got it! She motions her head to the back of the room to the printer as it hums to life. I get up and get the paper. Both my username and password here are strings of numbers. I take a snapshot of the username and password so I won't have to remember it. Thanks. Anyways, you should hurry. Lunch is ending soon. Alright. According to the time display on the monitor, I've only got 10 minutes left. I follow the instructions on the printout, finally getting to the student hub of the site. And thankfully, the art contest is displayed prominently across it. That's helpful. Clicking through a couple of links, I finally find the submission instructions. It's simply a matter of putting my entry details as the name of the file and dragging it into the school's shared drive. Plugging in my portable portfolio hard drive, I create a copy of my magnum opus. Then a quick rename, drag it here, and dong ding dong! Just in time. I take the extra minute to safely undock my hard drive and then log off the computer. Looking back to Liz, she's completely wrapped up in her work. I'd say this seems a little bit on the nose, but at the same time, I've had this exact same face when I was doing paperwork for Krenbol. Back when we had the master schedule. Don't think interrupting her is a good idea. Especially after what she said about Olivia and our own time. I opt to simply leave her be, heading out of the room and the library for class. After all, it's time for the class I'd been looking forward to most. And probably the one you're going to be most disappointed by. This day is certainly turning out better than yesterday. Famous last words. Hope I didn't just jinx it for myself. Oh, you did. You certainly did. Ugh. My nerves had been acting up when I first stepped back in the classroom. Made even worse when I was hit by another flashbang. After my 20 other classmates had finished laughing, Mr. Iatakan made a show of waving a freshly taken photo from a fancy fold-up camera from the 70s. I dubbed this portrait Dieu sans poète. After he'd thumbtacked the shot in a corkboard filled with poor snapshots of everyone else, Mr. Iatakan reassured me and sat me next to Ben. He managed to sum up his syllabus in under a minute, instead taking the majority of the time to go over our first lesson and assignment on exposure and lighting. With each new light fixture he brought out and explained, I felt my mind swirl faster with new possibilities of old shots. If only I had that then, or if I could have used that there. And now that you've had a small taste of it, we'll start on your first photography assignment, proper lighting. Salivating at the thought. Mr. Iatakan had just finished his first lesson where he handed out all sorts of equipment to look over. It was the first time I've handled some of these things, like the enormous box light that was still taking up the entirety of my desk. Remember, though, that these are just tools meant to enhance the photo. You can highlight a turd all you want, it's still a turd. The crude language guarantees a chortle from the few half-listening students. The teacher looks over to the clock and hums. Well, I see we managed to finish this lecture a tad early. Why don't you all take these last 10 minutes to compare notes? Maybe even consider doing the assignment as a collab piece with a classmate. The room is quick to fill with a sound of chatter. I wonder if
I turn to Ben and see his angry grin. Crap. Do you want to do a joint piece? Since you don't know any good spots in the school and all. I think this actually might be a better sticking one. I pull out the assignment sheet from beneath the lightweight light on my desk and give it a quick scan again. Present a set of photos demonstrating your understanding of proper lighting. You are allowed to borrow one lighting tool and must take the shot on school premises. And I swear I've handed out this assignment for years now. If one more student just takes a picture of the hallway outside the classroom, I'm going to personally throw them over the railing. Be original, please. I've got the perfect place for it. If we work together, we could even use 2 items. The offer is too tempting. Sure. I hold out my hand and Ben takes and shakes it, sealing the pact. My face is feeling weird from all the smiling today. But in truth, I'd been enjoying Mr. Yatakan's class so much that I couldn't stop. Feels like I've had the entire world to gain from Mr. Yatakan's lesson. Oh, good. And the entire world to explore, seeing as ever since the move, I hadn't had time to actually explore Volcanera Bluffs. Sure, on occasion I go out to my parks and stuff, but who doesn't? Ben's just feeling less. Besides, it'd be a pretty lame photographer if I didn't go out and find stuff to photograph. And you know what? I've been meaning to do a little looking around here. So to everyone else, this assignment makes them have to explore the school, but I get to. Pretty sweet deal if I say so myself. The hall outside of the classroom is only one major photo op. Between that and the murals outside, I'm certain to find something cool. No, the murals won't work on their own. Since it was my first thought to use them, that means it's likely someone else's first thought. I need to think outside the box a bit. Think of some way to use the school's architecture to my advantage in a way that... Inko! My thoughts are disrupted by a worried-looking Ben. Maybe you should see a doctor, man. Head injuries are no laughing matter. Fuck, I'm losing this voice again. I'm fine. What were you saying? I was asking how you were doing, with school and classes now. Oh, right. Doing good. Really good, actually. I'm in a class that I'm 100% enjoying. I'm starting to make some genuine friendships. Compared to the disaster of yesterday, today's been astoundingly positive. Hey, that's good to hear. Yeah, I even got some friends now. Oh, great. Oh, and what about your art submission? Was Liz able to help? There's something nibbling at the corner of my thoughts at the mention of the long neck girl. Yeah, she gave me my login and that stuff and everything. Uploading the submission was a piece of cake after all. Awesome! Though that does make you competition now. Both Liz and I have pieces in the running too. She told me she had submitted something, yeah. I'm a bit concerned since I didn't have as much time at all to prepare anything, but hey, everyone's got a chance, you never know. Yeah, she was pretty cool about it too. That whole friend group is pretty welcoming. I think I'm pretty lucky. Lucky? Ben seems perplexed by my statement. He said something at lunch when Olivia vanished. I'm noticing, for a silent paraplegic, she sure has a lot of people upset. You got some hidden drama with her too? No, not really. Wait, two? Who? Yatakan calls out to us, standing over to inspect. I take it you gentlemen are conversing about your assignment together? Of course, Mr. Yatakan. We're just discussing where we'd take our picture, right, Ben? Well, that's good then. Good thing you guys weren't talking about something off topic, like gossip. That would be pretty embarrassing use of your time right off the bat, I think. Especially considering you're currently the subject of some fairly humorous gossip, aren't you, Mr. Nito? I'll wash and a wave of shame from his words. I look at Ben, and I can see he feels it as well. If the air around someone needs clearing, clear it yourself. Yatakan has a point. Maybe once a friendship is established, I can learn more about her. Dong ding dong. All right, off you go now. And remember to get your assignment done by the end of the week. The room empties out slowly, most of my peers still chatting and discussing their plans for the assignment. Before I can continue talking with Ben about our project, the StuCo president is already packed up and exiting the room. Guess we'll talk later then. Packing up my own notebook, I wave goodbye to my new favorite teacher and head off to my next class. How are we doing? About another half hour. Walking into history class for the first time, and it's about what I expect it to look like. Pictures of historical figures, small relics from various regions, and cartography of the Earth during its stages of continental drift. Though I noticed that there was a distinct lack of a teacher in the class. Must be finishing their lunch, I assume. Well, better get a good seat now before they're all taken. Eeny, meeny, miny, this one. I settle myself into my chosen desk and pull out my history book and notebook, along with a pencil. As the classroom fills with more and more students, it becomes a blur of vibrant scales. A few minutes pass, and I'm still wondering where the teacher is. Uh-oh. The suddenness of the door slamming open stops any and all noise. Please tell me it's the PE guy double dipping. It's quiet enough to hear a pin drop. The figure walks into the classroom and yes! I love this. This is great. Oh, sweet heaven, no. He stands there and stares down at everyone. Menacingly. He's the history teacher, too. Thanks for walking me to my classroom, Sully. Of course, Miss Prockling. Oh, thank Raptor Jesus, he isn't our teacher. I got so excited. I love that. You know what? Bravo. Fantastic fake out. Great. The Raptor woman adjusts her glasses as she scans around the room before looking down at the paperwork in her hands. Looks like we'll have some late arrivals, but let's get down to business. I know that I introduced myself yesterday, but for any of those who weren't here... Her momentary glance at me makes me believe Sully told her about my absence. My name is Miss Prockling, and this is history class. In this course, we'll be learning about the history of our primeval ancestors and their advancements throughout history. You can even say it'll be like going back in time. Doesn't that sound exciting? Despite her admittedly forced enthusiasm, everyone in the class responds with uninterested murmuring. Not sure why, though. This all sounds exciting. She walks over to her desk and places down her pile of folders before flipping open her own special version of the history book. With a click of a button, she also turns on the projector to reveal a prepared slideshow for today's lecture. To learn about the extensive history of Saurians and their culture is something I've yearned for. If you can turn to your books to page 36, we'll begin with the first chapter detailing the earliest interactions between Saurians and hominids. Woo, that sounds interesting. I think I jinxed myself. Miss Prockling's history class is the polar opposite to the Atacon's photography class. While her instruction to the class engaged me at first, things have slowed down into an unbearably slow crawl. My eyes scan over the introductory text of our first chapter. Despite the tension between the two groups, human settlers to the New World would continue to make overtures of trade to the native Velociraptor tribes. Pretty sure I've read this line 3 times now. I tear my eyes away from the page in the hopes of blinking the boredom away. I look up and see the teacher staring down at various papers on our desk with laser focus. I must have stared too long, though, because I ended up locked in a staring contest with Prockling. She raises an eyebrow at me. Okay then, write down notes of pages 3 through 7 about the discovery of the New World. Without even fully comprehending the words before me, I'm copying the page down to the letter in my notebook. Well, it's one way of doing it. Absent-mindedly, I begin to recall everything that's happened so far with my new classmates. Ben carries himself with a lot of refinement and is easily my first pick as a photography partner. But that Mia girl, she doesn't seem to want to make friends. Of course, I could have figured that out from the cold look she gave me yesterday, not to mention the rude hand gesture. Damien's very friendly, even if he can be a bit too enthusiastic sometimes. And though my encounter with Liz was brief, I can tell she's dependable. My progress in making friends has been pretty good, all things considered. But then there's Olivia. So far, she's still an enigma, and coupled with the apparent history she has with the others, it makes me all the more curious about her. Liz said it would be a bad idea to get invested, but in the end, it's effectively gossip and hearsay. This had come as something of a shock to me, but... And what do we have here, Miss Halford? The sudden voice of Miss Prockling snaps me out of my thoughts. I lean my head to the teacher, looking down at... Wait a minute, Olivia is here too? As luck would have it, I share not one but two classes with Olivia. I must have been so jaded from trying to read this textbook that I didn't even notice the girl in the wheelchair. She sits in the front row, diagonally in front of me. And I don't think she's noticed this strange twist of fate herself. Only the second day of the school year and already doodling in class again? She proceeds to pick up the piece of paper from Olivia's desk. Looks like she's been drawing on it, though I can't tell what they are from where I'm sitting. Listen, Olivia, I know history isn't the most exciting subject to learn, but could you at least pretend that you're taking notes? The only response I hear from Olivia is a heavy sigh before leaning her head back down. While the teacher returns to skulking around the room, Olivia hunches over a notebook. Although I don't think those are notes she's taking. Nah, no one would do something like that with a totalitarian teacher patrolling the room. It's an attempt to get all of us to focus, but I'm fighting a losing battle to keep my eyelids from shutting. My jaw is clenched tight to suppress a loud yawn building inside, even as Miss Prockling skulks right past me. Just before my drowsiness can overtake me, though, I notice a minute movement in the corner of my eye. One of my classmates glances up at the teacher, whose eyes are roving over the opposite side of the room, and down to scribble something down. The paper is then folded into a neat little note, and... I watch as the next person carefully unfolds a sheet and also scribbles on it, before folding and passing it along again. Curiosity, thoroughly piqued, I wait anxiously in my seat for the paper to get to me. It's a dangerous game, passing the note along so Prockling doesn't see. If I'm participating, does that make me a slacker? The student to my side makes his move to toss the note over. But Prockling starts turning around right then. He flinches and drops the hot potato on my desk in a flash. I only slam my own paper over the page to cover it from sight. Miss Prockling continues to lecture about how the Raptors and humans eventually started to get along because they traded narcotic leaves, or something like that. And as you can see on the board here... Now! I lift my paper. Luckily, there's plenty of space left. As for what everyone else has drawn... A not-so-solid attempt at a race car. Rough sketches of some eyes, a bunch of doodles, names in various stylized fonts that I can only describe as graffiti, and, of course, it's not high school if someone hasn't drawn a penis. Miss Prockling with stink lines coming off of her. Yeesh, better not be caught with this. That being said, I'm drawing a blank. What should I draw? I don't exactly doodle every day. Drawing stuff for others is a nice gesture. Uh-oh. Maybe I'll try to break the ice a bit. Although I don't really know anything about her. Can't hurt to try though, yeah? I can think of a few things to sketch out here. Let's see. Okay. I don't know why this didn't click to me.
Oh, wow! Look, there's a bag full of fruits and vegetables up here.
Perchance Statler and Waldorf were thinking of throwing a party.
Well, this much food won't go very far.
Well, they only wanted to throw it as far as the stage.
Oh, for sure.
I would like to remind the class that I am a Warhammer modeler and painter. And resin experimenter. Gushers eater. Be very careful about the scroll wheel. Accidentally go back, it'll delete it. Okay. I should very much, again, like to remind you, I don't draw that often, hardly ever, and I am doing this with a frickin' mouse.
Every show, Statler and Waldorf sit up here. Show after show after show. Now I see why.
You see why they come?
No, I see why they left.
Oh,
You know, I'm really gonna enjoy it tonight.
You plan to like this show?
No, I plan to watch television.
Again, I'd like to point out I don't draw. Lower accurate inco? You know, fair enough. And done. Didn't have a lot of room to really work with. But it's still better than what I drew. Gave her a little bit longer hair than I guess that was actually the case. Didn't have a lot of room to really work with, but as I surreptitiously admire my work, I find that I have a long way to go. It feels like I'm being mogged by the other doodles. Alright, Olivia's sure to like this. Miss Prockling is still turned around alright. If I slip the paper over Olivia's shoulder, I won't have to get up and risk getting caught. And here we go. It's a bit tricksy, and I hesitate, but the paper meets its destination. She doesn't even look back, just takes the paper eagerly. It's completely different how she was acting earlier. Her tail is even swaying side to side. Oh, is that wagging? Huh. Alright, now she's gonna see my sketch and possibly think I'm cool. She's not turning around. Well, it's not much, so I could also just... I'll be taking that. Miss Prockling snatches the paper from Olivia's claws. She holds her arms out. She takes a glance at the paper, and a small crack of a smile appears on her face before going back to its stoic visage. So, is this how you view me, Miss Halfed? Prockling holds the paper up for all to see. Everyone in the class does her best to avoid her persecuting gaze. I know that most of you were part of this as well. Look, I'm not asking much for much. Please do your assignments when you were in class. It's the least you can do. We were just passing a note one at a time. She wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, how come all of us are in trouble? Notice Prockling looking down at Olivia for a moment before letting out a sigh of defeat. Look, since it's only the second day, I'll let this one slide. But I'm warning you, now that I won't be so lenient the next time it happens. Otherwise, you'll end up being like the last student who decided to be disruptive during class. What happened to him? Get an attention slip or something? Miss Prockling pulls up the window blinds and pushes the window screen open. She then takes out a walkie-talkie. Sully? Yep. Another hippie. Seat H4. Huh? Oh! Good job, soldier. Oh!
What was that?
It's called the medium sketch.
The medium sketch?
Yeah, it wasn't rare, and it certainly wasn't well done.
Okay. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't like like a guided missile dodgeball, although I probably should have. Now, if we can, let's continue. We're on the second floor. I sink back out into my seat and continue writing, mainly out of unadulterated fear of experiencing the same wrath from the teacher. Man, now I feel guilty for Olivia. I was willing to pass her the note after all. Maybe I shouldn't have tried. Well, I can always apologize after class. Miss Prockling places the note and continues with her lecture for another half hour. With 10 minutes of class left, I see Prockling looking at the clock above the door. Then notice Olivia grabbing her attention, as if she knew what she's already going to say to her. The teacher nods her head. Olivia grabs her backpack and shoves all of her things into it. In silence, she wheels herself to the door, opens it, and rolls on out. The teacher must have noticed me watching her leave. Accommodations. Well, there goes my chances of saying sorry to her. Feeling defeated, I decide to focus on writing down my notes for the rest of the time left. Although I do wonder. She must have noticed my doodle. Did she just ignore it then? Class comes and goes, and I head back home on the metro. Another day, another dollar. Though this time I passed the mini breakfast burritos. After how bad they messed me up during PE yesterday, I don't want my stomach to endure that torture again. Instead, I just got a few hash browns from a fast food joint by the metro. Probably not much better. I idly scroll through my feed, as I usually do, while the metro jostles about to my destination. It's been a few days now, and the strange scent of extremely cheap detergent and alcohol have become an afterthought. Some of the vines are actually plastic, and the flowers are little air fresheners. Oh, well, that's neat. It's not actually something I noticed, more so witnessed when a passenger tried eating one. That's even better. Some of the vines are real, though. For some reason, they go untouched. They go untouched anyways. Maybe they're just not tasty? Oh, and the plastic one was, apparently. Vegetarians don't eat the grass in their lawns after all. Right? Oh, you again. Anyways, the lights have gone out and someone just dropped a wrecking ball next to me. Kind of hard to believe that we spent that entire last hour and a half as like a single day. Must be Mr. Ferris.
Good morning, Inko.
Good morning. Has work been going fine?
It has. Slowly, but I'm very thorough. I hate the idea of a place of learning not being an ideal place to learn. And I appreciate our talks. Your perspective has really helped me understand the student body more.
You're welcome. Hey, have you given any more thought to the fashion thing?
I have, although I can't really say I get it.
No, there's plenty to see everywhere if you just look around.
Really? Like what?
Well, like, look at the girlie on the end of the car there.
The one with the mustache? It's rather revealing. I don't think that's really for me. I love my wife.
No, I just mean as an example.
Well, there's an event coming up. I could see about trying something new. What would you recommend?
That's a good question. What would be good to use here? In my inner eye, I conceptualize the coolest possible Ferris. The fresh machine is going full throttle. Oh, good nit. First, sunglasses. Not a end-all. His eyes may be a little too far apart for that. However, beanie. Moving on. Big guns, fresh jacket. There we go. The coolest possible Ferris. I do appreciate the biker mustache motif, though. That I can see working well. The jacket, maybe I could also see, but the beanie. Drop the beanie. I mean, it's also coming from me, who has a very different aesthetic as well.
Mr. Nito.
Sorry, just thinking. Why don't you start with... radial frosted glass dim room sunglasses, cotton refab beanie number 27, Malcolm seasonal cross print jacket. The only items that I actually liked on that Honestly, the only items I actually liked in that was the sunglasses, and I can't help but think that... I don't want to think that this is actually an important decision. I doubt it is, but... sunglasses are about the only one necessarily that I can think about. Absolutely critical.
Really now? Those all sound rather expensive.
Yeah, they are. You know what? Try a gold chain necklace. No!
A what?
Yeah, just make sure it's appropriately sized so it doesn't look silly. It's a gold chain necklace. They all look silly. Alright, but... This is the shit that I wore back in like 20 years ago, all right? This shit, don't do this shit. Just don't. I gotta put that back on my... I'm sure it'd go a long way, and they're pretty cheap to get. They also look cheap and tacky.
Well, alright. I'll take your word for it.
Don't, sir. Do not, good sir. There's a lost art to the suit and mustache. Do not... Maybe shave off the hair so it's not really so bald. 'Cause like, that's what I'm thinking of doing half the time. But... do not listen to a teenager about accessories.
We sure talk a lot about fashion a lot, though. Is that really everything's about these days?
Oh, of course not. What do you want to know about?
What's YOLO mean? I've heard the term thrown around recently.
That was like 5 years ago.
Oh.
Mr. Ferris and I talk more about contemporary urban slang until we arrive at our stop. Ah, art. You don't mind my saying, but I think that's probably as good a play... That's a fairly decent stopping point, I think, right? Unless memes are something immediately critical or desirable to see immediately coming up. I did say we'd be doing this for about 3 hours. You should continue until I get an ending. How long until the ending? And is this game really that short? Because I looked it up on how long to... A dozen in a few hours? Okay, that's about what I thought. Like I said before, I looked it up on how long to beat. And it did say something like 12 or so hours for the whole thing, like 18 for completionist. So I figured that it would be about, have multiple endings at the beginning. I just wanted to make sure when I asked. So, yeah, like... But yeah, so it's been about 3 hours. So, somewhere between like 20 and 25% of the way through. And a bit longer since talking is slower than... So about 20% then. We're about 20% then through this first round then. That seems about fair. Alright. But insofar as like this current like scene, there's nothing like that absolutely needs to be experienced at the moment, right? Yeah, it's fine. Okay. And I hope that... Yeah, there's my chair being silly. Alright. Oh. I honestly gotta say, first impressions, even though my first impressions were a few weeks ago and I wasn't streaming it because I was curious just generally, honestly, I think this game is much better than Snoot. The animations have helped a lot. The character designs actually seem a little bit more cohesive. The characters have been fantastic, although frankly I am more... Each of their own qualities in comparison to the other. Very fair. I will say I'm enjoying Coach Sully a lot, though. Don't get me wrong, I love that character. We'll see if I'm wrong about that later. All of that work for just a tiny drop. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I can't wait to find out what variety of horrible accident broke Olivia's spirit as well as her spine. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll find out. So what do you say, memes? We good for another Thursday then? Because this has actually been very fun. We'll definitely see what it's going to be like later. How about tomorrow, Kappa? There's the Kappa. Oh boy, do we just really want to do this as fast as possible, don't we? Let me just actually check something here. Yeah, nothing new in Div C. We're still waiting on one game, I think. But yeah. We'll see how this works out. I mean, it's another high school romance drama with multiple endings. Can't wait to see what kind of horrible situation the worst ending is. Here's hoping it's better than Snoot's. Christ. She runs over everyone in her wheelchair. Yeah. At least that would be funny. She turns her wheelchair into like a Greco-Roman chariot used in the Colosseum. You know, like the one scene from Gladiator, where the one guy gets literally cut in half from the chariot just driving by him because of the spikes on it. You know, like those trucks they make in zombie movies. Also that. It's all very Mad Max if you think about it. Alright. Well, so with that, I think we're going to end off then. So far, enjoyable. We'll see at what point my spirit breaks. And until then, there's stuff happening, and it should be okay. Should be good. Should be fun. So, we'll do this again next Thursday. Thursday should work, but if you want to get a few hours in, just DM me and I'll let you know if you're good that night. You know what? Fair enough. We can work with that, memes. We'll do Thursdays normal.
I get connected to Wi-Fi.
Google didn't need to respond to that. I didn't say anything that even sounded like that, right? Anywho. Yeah. Yeah, if I feel up to it, I'll definitely tell you and we can figure that out when it comes to it. But otherwise, we'll do it on Thursdays. All right, so we have Thursdays. We have Blood Bowl coming next week, and a little up in the air about D&D on Sunday. We might not be having it. So yeah, all of that. Well, the game audio seems to have gotten louder. All right, well, should be good. We got ourselves a schedule at least of some variety. So, with that, I should probably be getting, if not to bed, at least ways to something a little bit more calm down, breakdown. I've been talking for 3 hours. I'm losing my mind. At any rate, guys, let's see. We'll go to here. Nope. Turn on the background music so I'm not being completely talking, not in complete silence. And yeah, so I will see you all in the next one. Mostly memes and Kitsu. Thank you all for hanging around, chatting, being all around cool dudes.
Poor fellow lost his nose.
And after this alert,
How will he smell without it?
Same as always. Terrible.
I will see you all in the next game. Whichever one that may be at that time. Have a good rest of your day, all. I'll find a picture for that later, but in the meantime...
Just as I thought.
What's that?
After this show, nothing hurts.